Here's a quick guide showing how to annotate a book for school. If you were asked to annotate a book for summer reading, here's an idea of how you might go about it. I've chosen the book Educated, a memoir by Tara Westover. I'm going to start in part one, right in the first page. It's always important to annotate the first page closely to show an engagement with the exposition of the novel or of the memoir or whatever you're reading. So there's 5 types of annotations you're going to be looking for. First is you're going to find a word or a phrase that you're not familiar with, and you're going to look it up either using a dictionary, your phone, or just using context clues could work as well. So if I'm looking on my first page, I've read it and I've identified this idea of cinematic. So I'm going to circle and then I'm going to use my context clues to define it. So the sentence reads, "Just before I turned 6, from a story my father told in such detail that I and my brothers and sister had each conjured our own cinematic version." So I'm going to say that's like a movie. There are other words you can look up too. For example, conjured definitely jumps out. That's another word we could look up. So you're never locked into just 5 annotations on one page, but it's a good gauge. The next thing you want to look for is some sort of literary element. You're not just going to label it, but you're going to mark it and explain how it's being used. So for example, if I see the point of view is in the first person, I'm going to underline that and I'm going to label this first person point of view shows intimacy. So anytime you use first person, it gives us a first-hand point of view, look into the author and the writer's take on the situation, and that's perfect for this book since it is a memoir. Next up is we want to summarize. So we want to summarize this first paragraph. We'll just find any white space that might work here in the margins or below. And here, it's a pretty traumatic opening scene where the narrator's strongest memory was something that she imagined. And this was of a raid on her house by the feds. So all you really need for a summary is just one sentence. The feds raided her house. And that's a great summary too, because that can lead us right into our 4th type of annotation, which is asking questions. So we can ask why we feel like the feds might have raided her house, and that might be something that will be answered later. We're going to ask questions about the character who's telling us the story. Who is she? How old is she? Where is she now? But since we have the feds here, I'm going to go ahead and add another annotation that asks a question. Why were they in trouble? We always want to put a question mark at the end of our questions. That'll signify to your teacher that it's a question. It'll help you during class discussions as well. So the 5th type of annotation is a personal reaction. When I read this paragraph, I see that there's some trouble, there's some tension, and there's some conflict. So that's something I can relate to. I've been in trouble from time to time when I was a child. And so I can relate to this concept of a memory. All right. I have gotten in trouble. All right. The use of the first person pronoun there shows that this is my personal reaction. You can number these as well to keep track, but overall, this is what one page of annotation looks like. Good luck.